You're listening to Hearts at Work, a podcast brought to you by P Cubed about people who care and how their compassion fuels change. Hearts at Work explores the remarkable stories of those who are dedicated to helping others. Get ready to be inspired.
Sometime in your life, you've probably heard something about the Pygmy tribes of Africa. Pygmies are known as the forest people. In a somewhat imperfect comparison, they're kind of like the Roma across Europe. They were once native to a certain place, but time and circumstances changed that. And these days, they're more mobile and itinerant because of politics, policies, the environment, and some societal changes as well. But today's story and the comparison with the Roma remind me more deeply of how inhuman and hateful we humans can sometimes be. The Roma are disliked. They've long been mistrusted in Europe. And we've heard and read a lot about the terrible treatment of the Rohingya in and around Myanmar. And in recent history, South Africa had apartheid. America, what can I say about America? We only adopted civil rights laws in the 1960s, around a century after the end of Black slavery in the United States. We, people, always seem to single out those who aren't the same as us. We look down on others who look different, worship differently, have a different language, culture, or something else that makes us suspicious of them or feel superior to them. A lot of these stories I know, and you know them too, but today's story is about the Pygmies. They face a lot of challenges and threats to their culture and continued existence, and there's not a lot about them in the news. But their story is very compelling, and we'll be delving into it with a very special man, one who has dedicated his life toward making their lives better. Before we get there, I want to give you a little bit of context, a little bit of history about the Pygmies. There are over 12 distinct peoples and Pygmy tribes. There are about 350,000 of them in the Congo basin alone. Remember Congo because we're going to be talking a lot about it today. And by some counts, there are as many as 900,000 Pygmies overall in 9 African countries. They live mostly in the rainforests of Cameroon, but the tribes stretch across forests all the way to Uganda. Until recently, the Pygmies had a largely hunter-gatherer-based economy. They live in small, non-hierarchical bands, and as the name has come to mean in English, Pygmies are known to be fairly short. It's a genetic trait that sees many of them at 1.5 meters tall, just under 5 feet, or smaller. They have a cultural and religious affinity with the forests of Congo, hence the forest people. They tend to trade with other tribes at farm. They offer them items from the forest in exchange for meat, honey, and things they can't make, like metal implements. But some tribes don't like the Pygmies. They claim they disrupt agriculture or take what's not theirs. Or they hunt and kill animals villages depend on, like cows, who produce milk and cream for butter. If you've heard of the Pygmies, you might also have heard a bit about the Congo. Today, we're talking about the Democratic Republic of Congo. That's home to a lot of Pygmy tribes. DR Congo is the second largest country in Africa by size, and it's the 11th largest in the world. It's bordered by 9 other African countries and stretches from the west coast of the continent right into the center. It's got a population of about 105 million people, but it's a very, very poor country with nominal per capita GDP just under $700. It's also a culturally diverse nation with about 250 tribal groups. And yes, because of that, it's also one of the most linguistically diverse countries in the world with over 200 languages spoken. One of them is Chitembo or Kitembo, a language spoken by some of the Pygmy tribes. Tembo, by the way, means elephant in the more widely spoken Swahili language. More on the language in a bit, because that's also a crucial part of today's story. Chitembo is an interesting language. It's spoken by the Pygmies in a Congolese village called Bunyakiri. That's where we're going to be focusing our podcast on today. Bunyakiri is in the eastern high plateau region, the DR Congo. The Pygmies of Bunyakiri are a group of hunter-gatherers who originated in a nearby forest, one which became a national park. The government gave the region that designation to protect wild gorillas. The Pygmies lived in that area before 1937, and they were evicted after the park's creation. I told you we'd come back to language, and so we are. The Katembo language, and I'm sorry if I'm botching the pronunciation, it's an oral language. It has no writing system. Or as we drill down in today's story, it didn't have a writing system till recently. So we're going to look at how the Pygmies of Bunyakiri came to have a writing system, mostly of their own. Just to offer a tantalizing bit of our story, their writing system is mostly their own because it's based on Korea's Hangeul alphabet. Yes, Korea's Hangeul alphabet. How this came to be brings me to an interesting character. There's a remarkable man born in South Korea who emigrated to the United States in the early 2000s. Like me, he was a big fan of Antoine de Saint-Exupéry's Little Prince while growing up. And he vowed that one day he'd visit the Sahara Desert in that tale. He told me he first snapped a picture of it in 1992. Anyway, this man ended up visiting Africa several times after that initial photo he took in 1992. And then, in 2009, while on a visit to Uganda, a mother asked him to pray for her desperately sick baby. And for this man, everything changed on that day. It was on that day, while Choi Koan-shin shouted to God, imploring him to save that sick baby, that the doubts he had about whether anyone in heaven ever heard his prayers were erased. That successful prayer changed his life. Choi, now so many years later, Reverend Choi, decided to devote his life to religion. He was a deacon at the time in his church, but he decided to study theology and become a reverend. His calling, he told me, was to make the lives of the people of Africa better. And since 2015, as a missionary for Reverend Paul Kim's Christian Life World Mission Frontier charity, Reverend Choi has focused his efforts on the Pygmies of Bunyakiri. He initially went to their village to preach the gospel to, as he put it, let them know that Jesus Christ died for their sins. But he showed remarkable pragmatism and understanding that these desperately poor people, whose standard of living is far below that of other tribes in Congo, they needed food in their bellies before they could fully have their minds, their hearts, and their souls nourished. And that Christian evangelism was a foreign concept that needed to be fully understood by students and disciples. So he started with the basics: food, education, and just simple human-to-human contact, like sharing a meal, smiling at each other, learning each other's music, and dancing. Over the years, Reverend Choi and his fellow missionaries have stepped up their activities in Bunyakiri. They've built schools, built a nursing school, and churches. They've helped the Pygmies find ways to learn and earn. Part of that is the unique Katembo Jungom system created by 4 Korean linguists at the request of the mission. It was about 3 weeks ago when I just finished my 3rd online Korean language lesson that I stumbled upon a Korea Herald article by a reporter named Kim So-hyun. In it, she detailed the Reverend's efforts to give the Pygmies of Bunyakiri a writing system. Offering them full literacy in their own language was seen as crucial toward enabling them to improve their lives and position in society. And of course, for the missionary to teach them about Jesus Christ and his disciples in the New Testament. I talked to Reverend Choi recently, and I wanted to share some of his fascinating tales of living and working in and around Bunyakiri and how he has given the Pygmies there a writing system and a big potential leg up in their lives. Please stay put and listen in to the discussion that we had. Reverend, what I wanted to ask you was, could you just start by introducing yourself? Tell listeners who you are, where you come from, and how you kind of found your calling.
Actually, I don't know who I am. My name is Koan-shin Choi. I am a missionary in DR Congo and Rwanda for the Pygmy tribe. So from 2015, so until now.
It's a long time. You're from South Korea, is that right?
Yeah, so my originality is South Korea, but now my citizenship is America and South Korea.
So dual citizenship.
Yeah, dual citizenship.
Where did you grow up, Reverend?
I was growing up in South Korea. 2002, I moved to America, and now ordained is pastor in the PCUSA, Christian Church of USA.
I see. When you grew up in Korea, what did you, when you were a student, did you want to become a missionary? Did you want to be on mission to Africa?
No, when I was in the high school, I am a member of the reading group. Reading at that time, we read one of a book. It is very, very important for my life, The Little Prince. When we read it and we share, after reading the book, but we can share the inspiration about the Little Prince. When the presentation about my reading was, I talked to my friend. Okay, in the future, I hope to visit the Sahara Desert to meet the Little Prince. It was a dream from high school. I like it very much, very much. In my life, all my life, I gave this book as a gift to my friends and my relatives. Anyways, from high school, I have dreams to visit actually Sahara Desert to meet the Little Prince. It was a dream. But in 1992, I have been there. But I do not see the Little Prince. Just only I saw the last scene. As you know, the last scene is the one star and the moon and the desert. Anyway, and in the college life, I read another book is Alex Haley, written by Alex Haley, The Roots.
Oh yes. I've read that, and I've watched. There have been a couple of TV series now about that.
So from this book, I have dreams to visit Africa. Not as a missionary, just only I hope to visit Africa. 1992, I have been there to visit the Sahara Desert, but it was very difficult to cross the Sahara Desert. Just only take a picture. And 2009, I have been visit Uganda for the short-term missionary.
So at that point, you were already a missionary in 2009. Is that right?
Yeah, 2009. As a short-term missionary. And the very important moment, I met the Jesus Christ at Uganda through the dying children. So
tell me more.
For a long time, I have adopted. I cannot believe that the God, the Lord Jesus, exists. So sometimes I talk to by myself as to pray to God. If you are really, you are that exist, show me or call me. But never heard from the God in the last 34 years. But when I visit Uganda, after the women conference at Kampala, and our member is invited a small church when it is not preaching, because at the time I was not a pastor, just a deacon. But I explain about by myself. After that, one of the women they asked me prayer for the baby. The baby was very sick. I don't know the correct name of the disease. So I tried to pray for the baby. But my member is, if we do not give a chance to surgery or give a good medicine, maybe this baby can be die. So when I start to pray to God for this baby, first I start to cry. Almost 30 minutes or 1 hour, just only I shout, "Oh, praise God to save this baby." Just only I crying and just saying the prayer to God to save this baby on. After 1 hour, I feel dizzily, dizzily. And that night, I recognized the dying children is really Jesus Christ come to. So I recognize. And my life is changing totally.
Wow. So it was just from one moment to the next that you suddenly changed.
Yeah, changed my life. And from that, when I come back to America, and I start to study theology school, ABSW, American Baptist of Western Seminary in San Francisco.
I see.
Yeah, and every year, every vacation, I went to Africa until now.
Until now. Let me shift gears just a little bit to talk about Africa. So you had your first view of it in 1992, and then you were deeply spiritually affected in Uganda in 2009. Now, the last few years, at least, you've been focused on the Pygmy tribe. Could you tell listeners a little bit more about the Pygmies? I think most of them don't know, and what I know, I just read the last couple of weeks since I heard about you.
2015, from 2009, every year, I went to go Africa as a short-term missionary, as a member of World Mission Frontier. World Mission Frontier is one of the mission institute in the east of Africa. And the president asked me to teaching the Pygmy village 2015. So I visit. Actually, 2010, it was the first time to visit the Pygmy village and first attend opening ceremony of the church construction. I heard one of very important story about the Pygmy evangelism. One of the evangelists visit the Pygmy village and tries to teaching them, preaching, and who Jesus is. Okay, Jesus Christ is died on the cross because of your sin. When they heard about the story, they ran away from the place. So after that, the evangelist asked them, why you ran away? During the preaching, they say, who is Jesus? We do not know Jesus. Maybe you kill Jesus. We do not never kill him. If we kill Jesus, the soldier captured us. So when I heard about this story, I was laughing. But eventually, what is the meaning of this story? So day by day, year and year, eventually I recognized God calls me to teaching the Pygmy tribe who Jesus is. So my first goal is to teaching them who Jesus is. That's all.
How do you communicate with them? Do are you speaking English with them generally? I imagine they don't speak Korean. Is their English good, or how do you get the points across?
My mission site is third Kivu province in the Bunyakiri. Nowadays, I focus on the Bunyakiri. But before, I visit more than 20 villages, Pygmy villages. But nowadays, I focus on Bunyakiri. Bunyakiri is a population is 340,000 people live there, and 75% or more is Pygmy tribe in this area.
What makes the Pygmies special?
Actually, whenever I visit their village, they do not know the English. They do not know the Swahili even. And generally, in the French, the DR Congo use public language is French. And the Swahili is the South province. And in the capital, they Lingala. Different. They have 6 official languages. South of the DR Congo, they use Swahili and French. But Pygmy tribe, they do not know the French. Most of them, they use Swahili, or in the village side, on the mountain side, they do not know Swahili. Just only Chitembo.
That's their language.
Yeah, their own language. The meaning of a chi or ki is a language. The tembo is elephant. So they say the meaning of Chitembo is the people who was ride on the elephant. They use the language is Chitembo. So 2015, I invite some of them to South Korea for introducing their life. And one of the members was a princess of Pygmy tribe. She asked me to make the writing system because when she heard about Chia tribe in Indonesia, have you even heard about the Uyghur people?
I have. So if I'm remembering this correctly, and this is one of the things that brought me to you in the first place, was I recently began studying Korean and found that there was a challenge to learn Hangeul writing, Korean vowels and consonants, the alphabet writing in less than 90 minutes. And I was so shocked at how easy it was. Not that Korean's an easy language, but the writing system was very easy to learn.
Yeah, writing is very, very easy to learn.
And I saw that the linguists had built a language, a written language for an Indonesian tribe that didn't have its own writing. And then I started to hear about you.
Yeah. So when the princess heard about the writing system, the first Jiwa tribe in Indonesia, because some of the group make the writing system for Jiwa tribe. So she asked me, even we do not have a writing system, if possible, to make the writing system for the Chitembo. That is the turning point. That is the starting point. So we visit one of the professor in Jeonju University, and we ask him, and he and his colleagues, the 3-4 professor make writing system for the Chitembo. 3.5 years.
It's a long time.
And yeah. And when they make this writing system for them, I try to teaching them. 2019. It was the first time to teaching. I invite 15 primary school teacher. I invite him and teach them. Just only 3 days, but they can read and write.
And that is astounding. That is really, really fast for people who had no writing system or experience whatsoever.
Actually, before they can use Roman character.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, because they can use French. Some of them, and the teacher, primary school teacher, they can use French, and they can write the Roman character.
But they'd never seen any Hangeul before that, right?
Never see. But I tried to teaching them just only 2 days or 3 days. They can read and write. As you know, the Korean character is just only 1 day they can learn how can read and write.
So the sounds, you can make the sounds properly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In 2015, I invite one of the Korean language teacher from Korea and tries to teaching the Pygmy tribe in the Bunyakiri. Just only in the morning, she teaching them, and the afternoon, we try to let them write their own name. Almost they can write their name. Just only 3 or 4 hours. Yeah.
Let me ask you, I know you're not a linguist, but what is it about Korean writing that makes it so simple for others to learn, even if they've never seen it before?
Yeah, never said. I cannot remember the correct. Maybe 2013 or 14. I tried to visit the third Kivu Parliament and introduce a Korean character. So, if you allowed us to teaching the primary student or any other, so I can make writing system for your country or one of the tribe, because in their Congo, more than 400 tribes live there together, and 450 language they use. So Chitembo is one of the language. As I know, more than 1 million people to use Chitembo. But very first time, they say, okay, we don't need a new writing system, new character, because already we have a Roman character. So I talk to them, okay, Korean character is need 1 or 2 days enough to learn. They say, how can we learn the 1 or 2 days to write and read? That's true. They say, no, never. It's impossible. So, okay, do you know the story of Korea? They do not know. No one have visited Korea. So I tried to invite 4 of parliament members to Korea and introduce Korea, and to make MOU between Korea 훈민정음 Institute. The meaning of 훈민정음 is a Korean writing system. Okay, Korean character. 훈민정음 Institute and the Parliament of Third Kivu Province in DR Congo make MOU. And when we finish it, make writing system, we try to teaching primary teacher in Third Kivu, and we'll provide the material, education material, the sign each other. And after 3.5 years, we made the writing system, and we tried to teaching them 2019, but as you know, COVID-19, because of 19, we cannot continue. But after finishing the COVID-19, we tried to teaching them again. And I tried to start translation, the Bible translation. So already we finished it, the four Gospels book, and nowadays we are in the translate of the Pentateuch and the Paul letters.
Say, I want to talk a little bit more about the Bible and the New Testament in a second, but I want to check back with you on one thing. You said that writing was kind of the starting point of the turnaround. Why is writing so important for anybody, but especially for the Pygmies, do you think?
Because when I visited Bunyakiri, actually first I tried to buy some of the Bible, bring them and give them. But after 1 or 2 days, they sell again because they do not know the written language. Almost they do not know. 97% they do not know the written language. So I try to teaching them. I try to teaching them how can write and read. When I attend a Sunday worship, just the 1 or 2% have the Bible, because almost they do not know. They cannot read and write. So I try to teaching them more easy to learn. So, yeah.
So at the most basic level, what we're talking about is, before we even get into spirituality, we're talking about pure education, like, a complete language to preserve it and all the beauty of it. You need to not just have the spoken language, but also a written language. Is that fair to say? You pass it down from generation to generation?
Good. They have their own spoken language, but they do not have the written language. Just only now they use the Roman character. Roman character they use, but the French and also Swahili, when they write the Swahili, they use the Roman character. But it's no, if I use the Roman character, we need 1 year or 2 years. But in Korean character, just only 1 or 2 days. If we teaching the 3-day seminar, almost they know. But they need more to practice and practice.
But I mean, this is pretty amazing and fascinating to me that you've differentiated, you found a way to get people to learn writing more quickly using a writing system that you yourself know. But now we get into spirituality, because I've done some translation before, and it's really not so much translation as interpretation. So the Bible has so much in it that is very hard to express, especially if the languages don't necessarily match. Like if languages are Northern Germanic or, they're similar to each other, fine. But there's no kind of roots that are the same in Chitembo, I'm guessing. So how do you capture the essence and the spirit of the Bible in a language where there's none of that shared culture, or very little of that shared culture?
Right. Usually the language has their own culture and spirit in the language. And in the Bible, as I know, the very first Bible is written in the Hebrew.
Hebrew, yeah. Or Aramaic, maybe, yeah.
Now, where in Old Testament is written in the Hebrew. But the number of words, as I know, more than 16,000 words they use in the Old Testament. But in English Bible, King James Bible is 8,000 word use. And in Korean, when we translate from the English to Korean, we use about 4,000 word use. It means, an example, in the Bible, the love the love has three different meaning, right? But in Korean Bible, it's all of them is love, love.
Same.
Okay?
Right.
Yeah, yes, same. But the different meaning. And as I know in Chitembo, they have their own, the word is about 1,000 word they use. So it is not easy, the correct meaning of the Bible to translate their Chitembo language. But as you know, even we know the meaning of the word, actually we do not understand the original meaning of the message. Pygmy village is very far from the downtown. So no one wants to go there to the teaching and the preaching about Jesus. If I choose or hire someone as an evangelist to send to the village, I need to pay for transportation fee and a lot of the salary. If I give them a Bible and read the Bible, maybe they can understand the message from God, because only God let them know. If I'm a pastor, okay, more than 50 years, and I learned theology. Every day I read the Bible, but the meaning is changeable every day different. And honest to say, I do not correct the meaning of the message. But if the Holy God let me know, I can understand. So I try to make a Bible their own language. If they just only read the Bible, even they do not understand the original meaning or some correct word, but maybe they can understand who Jesus is. That is my goal, is Bible translation project.
So if I'm understanding you correctly,
Yes.
they have no Judeo-Christian spiritual tradition in their tribe. What you're looking for is still the ability to teach them, as you said, who Jesus is spiritually in a way that they can absorb it better, using their words, their language. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Whenever I visit the Pygmy village, I use Chitembo Bible. Already we finished the 4 Gospels. Okay? So when I read the Bible, usually I use Jesus Christ was died for you. Okay?
Are they running away anymore, or are they staying in their seats now?
Yeah, whenever I read the Chitembo Bible, they are laughing to me. They understand and they are surprised because the Mujungu, the meaning of Mujungu is white people. They called me Mujungu, okay?
Mujungo, okay.
Yeah, Mujungu know their language. But the pronunciation is very strange to them, like baby.
Yeah.
But they are very happy to hear from the Mujungu speak their own language. And always I preaching that Jesus is died for you. So now, even you are the sinner, but now all of you are the forgiven sinner. You are the forgiven sinner. It is good news. Always I teaching them.
Right. So they understand you. You
Yeah, they
with them.
understand.
But let me ask you this: as a missionary, how do you reach them? Do you feel that they have their own spirituality, that it's more than just an intellectual exercise for them?
Yeah, I believe, because when I teaching or preaching, I feel and I saw their face. they can understand what I'm preaching or not. And sometimes I feel with my heart. Okay, even sometimes my preaching is very strange to them. Pronunciation is like baby, but they understand what I want to say to them. Because after construct church, they gather together every Sunday and dancing, and the song and the dancing. And some of them, they learn the Bible, so they can teaching. So when I visit there, they know why I come to their village and what I want to teaching them. So sometimes I question to them, why? Okay, why Jesus is died? They say, because of my sin. They answer.
I see. And
Yeah.
from the other side, you've been visiting Africa a long time now, and you've been among Pygmy tribe since, I think, 2015.
Yeah.
What have you learned from them or about them even?
Because nowadays, the Pygmy tribe is decreased, the number of Pygmy tribes, because of the developing issue. Because cut the tree and demolish the forest. The Pygmy tribe cannot know the agriculture. Okay, their life is correct and the hunting only. But the government make the fence for the national park to protect the rare animal like gorilla or any other. So the government promised to the Pygmy tribe, okay, you evacuate from the forest. We'll give you the land to agriculture. But the government do not give them any land. So many Pygmy people is hungry and killed by other tribe because they do not have a land. They do not know how can cultivate, how can the feeding animal. They do not know. Whenever they see the fruit, they get it. Okay, and whenever they saw the animal, cow, goats, they try to kill and eating because the animal is just only food for them. Okay, so the other tribe do not like Pygmy because whenever the Pygmy tribe is come to their village, the agriculture is broken and the land is broken and the animal is killed, so they don't like it. So eventually the Pygmy people is decreased. Okay?
I see.
Disappeared. So I heard about this story, so I tried to introduce their situation to the world, Western country, Korea. So now, my goal is to teaching them how can they survive.
First, I just want to understand, do they now have some permanence in at least their location? They have a forever place that they can live?
Yes, some of them has a place to a permanent, place or the residence. But many of them is still, because they do not have a land, their own land. And because of in the war between tribal and between a different policy. Okay, so Pygmy tribe
caught in between, right?
Yeah, fight each other.
Yeah.
As you know, Pygmy is very small and weak, so they cannot fight with other tribe, but they do not know how can make money, how can they survive. So they ran away. sometimes from the Congo to other country, Uganda, Rwanda, Tanzania, or Burundi. So a lot of Pygmy tribes live border of the between the Congo and the other country. As I know, the 1% of their Congo is Pygmy tribe, meaning so 1 million. But they say more than 1 million Pygmy are still alive.
Just another, they sort of have moved into other countries across the border.
Yeah.
So
Other.
So with the focus that you have on Bunyakiri, especially, now the work that you're doing faith-wise, spiritually, is very clear. Teaching of the Bible, the translation of the Bible. By the way, when will you be finished with all of the translation? What's the end date for that?
I'm not sure because I need more money. Because now I have a group for Bible translation team from BMCC. BMCC is the Bunyakiri Mubia Christian College. It is the nursing college. Now 120 students study in this college, and I choose the 8 students and let them try to translate from the Swahili or French to Chitembo.
I see. So this is a matter of time and money right now to finish this. The more people you have, and the more money you have.
Yeah. Sometimes I hope to give some of money, and always whenever I was there, I try to make some food for them. But I need to give some of money. And when I make a book, I need money also.
I completely understand that. That makes total sense.
Yes. So usually, it's not correct budget, but the $10,000 I can make 1,000 the translated book. So now in Pentateuch, and I try to make the books the correct together, the Old Testament. Okay, Pentateuch in Old Testament.
Yeah.
Paul letters in the New Testament.
I see. So $10,000 gets you about 1,000 words
1,000
of the word.
Yeah, one book.
But so I know, but you guys are also spending money and raising money for other things too. You're building schools, you're building a hospital, in addition to churches. Can you talk a little bit about the broader mission? Because besides giving people a written language that gives them a little bit more cultural permanence, giving them buildings and giving them better healthcare, better education also kind of offers them a more permanent, more sustainable lifestyle and a better, higher lifestyle. What's the mission there?
Actually, I hope to work for the Bible translation and the church construction. But in these areas, a lot of baby children is died. 70% of baby is died before 5 years old. So that is the reason why I try to start the nursing school. Because when I try to training the doctor, just only the 7 or on the 10 doctors in this area, I try to invite to Korea and the training 3 months, and when they go back to their country, they go to big city.
Oh, I see what you mean.
And not stay in the village.
Right.
You understand?
Yes, I do. And I get your point because there's money there, there's bigger jobs there, more opportunity. I see.
Yeah, so no one wants to stay at the village side for the Pygmy tribe. So I try to teaching them how can they take care of a baby and mom. Okay, it was midwife, but also it is not easy to invite the midwife. So usually midwife is from the nurse. So that is the reason why I start nursing school. So now in the BMCC, we have two major. One is nursing science and another is midwife science. But 10% of the student is midwife. The other, so 90% is nursing science.
Yeah, I see. And you were building a 36 bed hospital, is that right? As well,
But patient's room.
patient's room, a patient's room.
Yeah, yes.
36 beds.
And
Yeah.
almost finished, but I need more material for inside furniture and something mosquito net.
Right.
So 10,000, but almost some of the institute promised me to support because almost the finish the construct in the campus. Okay, already we have 3 classroom and one is office, one is practice room, and dormitory.
Dormitory, patient's room. Right.
Patient's room and the conference room. And nowadays we are in construct the guest house. So maybe after June, July, maybe we can have received the guest because we have the 16 room.
The last thing I want to ask you is how is the government, the local government, the national government, how do they treat you? How do they receive you and your mission?
They do not support our project. And so I do not expect any support from the government, the Congo government. Because in the Congo government, they do not pay the salary for the national hospital doctor or nurse. And the teacher of primary school, secondary school teacher, they have never received the salary from the government. So we cannot expect any support from the government.
Reverend Choi, despite that, and despite the challenges that you face with fundraising, it doesn't sound particularly easy. Why do you feel that it's important for you to help the Pygmy tribe? Why are you doing this?
I don't know. God calls me to help them. And when I start to this mission for Pygmy, I try to teach them who Jesus is. But first of all, they are very hungry. Okay, most of them are just only 1 meal in a day. Were very poor people. 1 meal in 2 or 3 days. General people, 1 time meal.
So you have to start with the basics, actually, right? Fill the belly first before you fill the mind and the heart and the soul, right?
Yeah. So most of them is very hungry. So I hope to teach them the technical or industrial area something. But most of us, too many children was died. So I tried to give the medical service for them. So I start to the nursing school. So next step, maybe we need to the industrial or the technical school to teaching them how can they survive. Not rich, just a survival.
And before we go, Reverend, can you just tell me, when you look back maybe 20 years from now, or look forward 20 years from now, what would you like to see that you've done and that the Pygmies have achieved?
Uh, Not 20 years, just 15 years. Okay.
Just 15.
Just-
You're an optimist too, besides being a missionary.
Yeah. First of all, I'm very happy. I was very happy. Still, I am happy to be with them because it's very fun. Whenever I start some of a project, it is the first time to see. Okay, first time for them. So it is very fun and interesting for me. Still, I do not know what kind of change their life, but now I understand they like me. Whenever, wherever I go, so many people, children or adults, they welcome me. And in the future, I hope not too many children die before 5 years old. Okay, usually they try to make the fiance 11 to 12 years old, the girl. Okay, and they delivers the 15 to 20 baby delivers in their life, but more than 70% of the babies die. So it very hard, very hard, very bad for their lives. I try to reduce the
rate, yeah.
rate of them, okay, that die. And actually, I do not have any prayer. Just only God is leading me for God's work. Just I hope to obey, and I hope to hear His message.
Reverend, what you do is not just interesting, it's inspirational. And I really can't thank you enough for halfway across the world doing what you do, halfway across the world in another place, calling me late at night, your time. And I want to thank you for taking the time to speak with me and our listeners.
You've been listening to Hearts at Work, a P-Cubed production. P-Cubed, short for the Power of Positive Psychology, is an agency that focuses on career and life coaching to help bring out the best possible performance in people through positive psychology. Thank you for listening, and tune in again.